The match has finished. West Ham 1, Liverpool 3, or the other way round if you're from Liverpool. I've got to say, I'm not quite as grumpy as I was after the Man City game, largely because I didn't get stuck in a traffic jam on this occasion before the game. However, I am a little bit disappointed. I've got to say, I think I feel a little bit let down, actually. I feel that we went for it more. In the Man City game, I thought we left a lot more out on the pitch in that game, whereas I just thought that we found wanting in so many areas against Liverpool. And in the end, I think they found it as a bit of a struggle. I know you felt we were very much in the game, didn't you, for a long period of time?
Until they got the third goal, I thought we always had a chance because we were making opportunities. I mean, the ball that Paqueta put through to Bowen, what was it, halfway through the second half or slightly after?
It was towards the end of the second half, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was just sensational. And if he'd been able to control that in the same way that he controlled the pass from Ben Rama, we'd have equalised and it would have been a very different game. We just desperately need more options up front. Kudus is going to be a good player, but he's not really a centre forward, is he, in the sort of traditional sense? And as we've discussed before, Danny Ings is a really good player, but he just doesn't suit the systems we play. So him coming on, is almost a white flag going up as far as I'm concerned, because our attack is very muted when he's playing. Again, he put a wonderful ball over to Soufal. But then he's miles behind the play, and we're now quite a quick counter-attacking side, and people are playing with freedom and really going for it. Which was last year. I always felt we counter-attacked, but we sort of counter-attacked with a handbrake on.
Yeah.
This year we're not, and we're getting better results because of it.
Yeah, a large part of our attack is based on Antonio, and I still think how well we do depends on how well Antonio does, and he's not been on it. I don't think he's been on it the last couple of games. I felt he started the season well, particularly against Brighton, against Chelsea. I think excellent, absolutely excellent. But I just felt today he was actually one of the culprits and one of the reasons. I'm not just talking about the header that he missed. Forget about the header that he missed, if you like. I just think his general all-round play was just very, very poor. What did you make of him?
Well, he was up against, a lot of the time, he was up against Van Dijk, wasn't he? And I think he's intimidated by Van Dijk. I think Van Dijk's one of the few defenders who does intimidate him. And he just goes down a bit too easy, doesn't he, Antonio, when things aren't going his way. So he didn't have his best game for us, I thought, today. But the end of the first half, we were having a real go, and we were having, quite a lot of success. And, Bowen took his goal brilliantly. And again, it was another really good cross from Soufal. Because that first 12 months that Soufal played for us, he was creating quite a lot of goals. I think the only people who were assisting more from the fullback position than him and Creswell were John Robertson,
Alexander-Arnold,
and our two were the next two. And then last season, Soufal hardly created anything. He did improve after he had his groin op, didn't he? I think that groin op probably should have happened the previous summer rather than, I think it happened in January or something, didn't it? But this year he seems to be back to his old creative self. But having said that, it's still strange. I don't think he's ever scored for West Ham, has he?
Quite possibly not. I don't mind that. I'm quite happy to take the extra assist. And it was. There was a number of good crosses I felt today, actually, and even towards the end, put over a really good ball. It was his defending that was far more troubling. I thought it was absolutely easy to get at, and I don't feel that Zuma was the rock that he usually was in this game. But I think it once there's a nervousness about the defence, I think it permeates. I really do, and I think that first goal, Liverpool's first goal, I think we were pressing. I think Zuma was out of position, and then Aguerd was just nervous. And then afterwards, I felt, with the exception of Emerson, who played with some sort of swagger and some sort of confidence, I felt like the whole defence was nervous for us.
I'm not so sure. I don't think they were as confident as they've been in other games. I'm not sure it was total nerves. But I agree that was possibly one of Zuma's least effective games. And, we had quite a few corners. And how many of the corners did we really threaten from today? One?
Well, the corners, I thought Ward-Prowse's deliveries were still very good. Yeah. I just didn't think we didn't make anything out of them.
No, because we didn't seem to attack the ball.
No, but Bowen's header, that I think it was a free kick. I think it was a corner, but it was wide. It was wide. It was wide like a corner is. It was in that sort of direction. So yeah, I mean, we definitely created chances against them. But I just feel there was a number of sort of muted performances in there, which sort of made it a little bit more difficult. What's a couple of players? What did you make of Alvarez today?
Oh, I thought he was excellent. I do worry that he is picking up more than his fair share of bookings, but he does seem to be quite disciplined in that once he's had the booking, he then does seem to rein it back in a little bit. But I mean, is he on 3 or 4 bookings already?
Don't know, but that was very early today. It seemed.
Yeah, it was about the 20th minute, I think.
But it was quite telling that despite the bookings, once he got the booking, I thought Moyes is gonna take him off. I thought he'd probably have an idea in his mind to take Souček off, but he'll probably now do Alvarez. But I think that tells you everything you need to know. The fact that that's now 2 games, because he was going to take Souček off and not Alvarez against City. Then Alvarez went down with a cramp.
Yeah.
And now you've seen it actually, no cramp for Alvarez. And it was actually Souček he took off. So it's amazing how he's entrenched himself. So despite the booking, it would have been easier to take him off. And if he'd really wanted to, he'd have the excuse to him, sorry, Edson, I've had to take you off because of the booking. But no, he keeps him on, and it's Souček he brings off.
Yeah, and remember, the booking against Man City wasn't as early as the one today, but I think it was late in the first half or very early in the second half. He had the booking hanging over him for a long time. So, no, I'm impressed with his discipline, and he plays an invaluable role, filling in the cracks. I think he's an excellent acquisition.
Okay, so what about, before we go, someone that impressed you and someone that underwhelmed you today?
Oh, Paquetá was just on the ball. He was just astonishing. They could not get the ball off him. And, he had his full set of tricks in. And I think the players are now beginning to understand what his tricks are. And so they're anticipating where he's going to put the ball. And, we had lots of good interplay down the left-hand side where we almost made the Liverpool players look silly the way we were playing the ball. So I think if we can get someone who's a little bit more effective than Antonio up front, who's got better control, and he's on that side as well, it's going to really start playing dividends. Have to worry about Aguerd. Silly penalty to give away. I know it's Salah, and he's probably going to score from there, but if he's going to score from there, he's definitely going to score from the penalty area.
Absolutely, yeah. Give him a shot from even closer. It seems like there's a mistake every game at the moment, and it's a very much a big concern. I've got to say, and David Moyes has really got a decision to make here, because you cannot be going into a game thinking this guy's going to make a mistake. And there were a lot of people saying it before this game against Liverpool about Aguerd, and in many respects, I sort of tried to bat it away a little bit. There was a lot of talk in the chat in the build-up show, which I know you wouldn't have seen because you were taking my nephews to go and play football. What were the results?
One lost 6-4, and the other one I'm not going to talk about.
Okay. Well, your do you know your grandson scored the winning goal in a 1-0 win?
Oh, brilliant!
He got a booking and he's got a £12 fine as well.
Oh, no, well, I'm sure
And
somebody else
and he thought I was going to pay it.
Oh,
So anyway, yeah. I mean, it was. I lost my train of thought.
The comment about Aguerd up to
Yes.
today was he makes a mistake and it rarely costs us a goal. Well, it did cost us a goal today, absolutely.
Well, absolutely. But yeah. So cheers. Thanks for bringing me back to it. That was what I was saying. Before there was a lot of people say he does a mistake every game, and and I think the difference is the last time when he made a big mistake against Man City, he made a mistake against Man City. But I remember saying, well, that's okay, because he also in that game did the best tackle of the match, and he did the best header of the match, and he did the best pass of the match, that long range pass right out to Soufal. You had none of that today. You just had the mistake. I'm not saying he didn't do any clearances or tackles. He did. That I don't want to be unreflective to him, but he was very lucky that Nunez missed that one he did, because he was the only one who was out of defensive line. Everyone else was playing offside. He wasn't playing offside. He was 2 meters back, and he was lucky that that Nunez missed that. Now, I don't particularly blame Aguerd for the Nunez goal, because I think it was brilliant. Yeah. It was brilliant. It was between the two defenders. You could attribute somebody didn't cut out the McAllister pass, one of the two centre backs. Just sometimes a talented player scores a wonderful goal. So but even taking that aside, it was a really shaky performance, and I think you can let it go when Zuma's playing out of his skin, because Zuma most of the season has been sort of 8 out of 10 sort of thing. If that's not going to happen, then you just got problems. I think David Moyes has definitely got a decision to make on Nayef Aguerd, and it pains me to say it because he's a nice guy, but I think we need to find out whether Mavropanos can play as left-sided centre-back. I think that will be the next thing to discover.
Until the debacle in Europe, we would have had no hesitation in putting Ogbonna in.
Yes,
and the thing is, if I can't remember Ogbonna making a big mistake. I can't remember when the last one was. It was like 3 or 4 years ago.
No, I think there was one last. But I'll take what you mean. I don't. Generally, he's very reliable.
Yeah, but the thing is, one, it knocked his confidence, and when he played earlier in the season, he didn't look like he was a yard short of pace, but on Thursday he looked slow. He looked slow and he was dithery. Whereas before, earlier in the season when he played, he looked commanding. And maybe Father Time has caught up with him at last. I don't know. So I'd be concerned. Sheffield United are probably quite a physical side. I don't know. Will McBurney be suspended? I don't think he will he? I think
actually, I was going to say something about him. I'm not saying anything. I don't know why I've got all superstitious all of a sudden. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not saying anything. There you go. It's not very good for a YouTube channel. He says he's got a YouTube channel. He won't say anything. There you go. I would ask you to subscribe. A bit of a cheek, bearing in mind I said I don't say anything. Mate, thank you for joining me. Really appreciate it. Can enjoy the what's left of. It's not left of the weekend, to be fair. So I think you've probably got some chores to do, actually. But you join us next week. People would always like to hear what you've got to say. And, I'll be back tomorrow morning. I've got a moan about substitutions, actually. And, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Thanks for everyone for tuning in.
I did find the Fornals substitution interesting, because he was shocking. On Thursday, I thought. So I was really surprised when he came on as the first substitute. But he didn't do too badly, but he didn't really have much of an impact on the game either. So
did you realise I just ended I'm still recording. I just ended that little bit at the end. It was the end. It was me. Thank you for the subscribe and the business. And then I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to include that little Fornals rant at the end.
No, because there was a gap.
What? You ruined me rhythm. Then you ruined me rhythm. I'm gonna leave that in. They can see the people watching this. those that haven't tuned out, the little Brucey bonus bit, little 4 nows bit at the end, little Brucey bonus bit at the end. Right, I am going. You say goodbye, and I'll let this one like. Well, no, you end the call. No, you end the call. Go on.
Au
See you later.
revoir. Bonne
Bye.
chance.